to Shiloh Network News with Dr. Scott Stripling.
Hi, I'm Scott Stripling with Shiloh Network News. I'm here on the northern fortification wall standing with my good friend, Pastor Dr. Jim Scudder. Jim, welcome to Tell Shiloh.
Thank you. And you invited me here and you said, hey, Jim, I want you to come and just watch, observe, maybe do a little filming, but it's not hard. You don't have to do anything. And look at me.
Well, Jim, you're just playing in the dirt. I don't know what to say. No, seriously, this has been a great experience having it.
Absolutely.
You and your wife and your team have been here working all week at Shiloh.
We're making a 4-part TV episode that'll air on TBN in September. We're going to not only tell the story of Shiloh and the excellence of your archaeology, but we're also going to tell the story of some other sites and the conquest and how the Bible does fit very nicely with archaeology.
We have really found that, and when you stop and think for a minute, where we're standing, Samuel was here, Hannah was here, Eli, Joshua. This is really a special place.
Shivers. And think about a place of prayer, a place of connecting to the Lord. Now we know we can connect to the Lord anywhere, but you should come to Shiloh and see how well you can connect to God here.
My name is Kevin Larsen, and I'm reporting for Shiloh Network News. I teach at Mid-Atlantic Christian University in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. This is my 5th year doing archaeology work in Israel. It's been a great experience. I've worked with the Associates for Biblical Research all 5 of those years, and I've also done a dig for 6 weeks at Ashkelon. I'm a square supervisor here in square AF30, and we've made a lot of progress this season. I've had the fortunate opportunity to have several students come with me the past couple years. This year I have Darian here with us, and he's a junior.
I go to the same school as Kevin, and he invited me to come, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to learn more about another country, another culture, to see what God is doing here, and just to get a taste for archaeology and how we can uncover what the Bible talks about. Archaeology is only one facet of apologetics, but it's still very important. And I'm grateful to get to see the methods that are used up close, the scrutiny that is required and is used by professionals here. And it's amazing to see people that believe the Bible, that do quality work. We don't just come here and dig in the dirt and just throw everything out. We analyze it, we sift it. We have professionals here, and it's just amazing to see the work we do because we believe that God has spoken here and is still speaking to us.
So we have quite a team here this season, and we would love for you to be a part of it next year. I hope that you'll start saving your quarters and your dollars and make plans to come and join us, because it is a very special place where you get to connect history and the Bible together.
Today we visited Mount Ebal, which is a critical site in understanding the conquest of Israel as described in the Bible. Adam Zertal in 1980 began excavations at this important cultic site. There he discovered a round altar from the time of the conquest. On top of it was a rectangular altar from the 13th century. This is one of those sites that the Bible talks about, and then we find it in the archaeological record, so it's really quite amazing. Very few people get a chance to go to Mount Ebal because there's certain security hoops that have to be jumped through, but we were really excited today to be able to take our group up to Mount Ebal. This is a large rectangular altar that dates to the 13th century BC. Just a few feet to my left is an earlier circular altar underneath this at the perfect geometric center. At the lowest levels, what Zertal called stratum 2, we have evidence from the time of the biblical date of the Exodus and conquest. That's the late 15th century and early 14th century. In the form of a scarab of Tutmosis III, we have hammer tools from Pit 250, we have installations dug into Surface 61, and most importantly, the round altar itself. There's an absence of cooking pots here, which is what you would expect for a cultic site. Also an absence of sickle blades, which is again what you would expect at a cultic site. There was an Egyptian stylized gold earring that was also found at the lowest level here, and also a pumice chalice identical to the one found in Egypt at Setabet el Hadim, which Petrie clearly said was Semitic in origin. So it appears that there is a favisa dug into Pit 250 just a few feet from here. So it's really quite amazing when we think that God had commanded the Israelites, when you come into the land and you gain a foothold, come to Mount Ebal and there sacrifice. We visited Rimonim in a very harrowing adventure in a safari type vehicle where we had a blast getting there to build on Zertal's research, where he found the footprint sites in the Jordan Valley, a total of 6 of these footprint sites. People like Hannah, Elkanah, they came here 3 times a year to connect with God and to connect with each other. Leviticus 7 says that the right side of the animal is the priest's portion. Now, we excavate about 7,000 animal bones a year. In addition to that, over in Area D, there was a massive bone deposit. So we've got hundreds of thousands of animal bones to study. We know what animals they're from. Here's a very interesting fact. About 2/3 of the bones are from the right side of the animal and only 1/3 from the left side of the animal. Now, if that's not evidence of a biblical sacrificial system, how do you explain that disparity? Because there is no other explanation. There's no way that that can be a statistical anomaly.
If you would have to choose, as a Bible believer, between the Bible and archaeology, what would you choose? The Bible, don't you? So do I. I read the Bible every day, I believe it, but it's the one thing I've learned in the many years I've worked in biblical archaeology is, if you use the Bible, you've got to read it very, very accurately and very carefully. There's a lot of people make statements of the Bible which are not supported by the Bible. If you only read the Bible non-critically, you don't read other historical sources. Now, Josephus Flavius, he wrote all those books about the war of the Jews, and he said, Titus now ordered the troops that were with him to raise the foundations of Antonia and to prepare an easy ascent for the whole army. Is he a liar? Or is Jesus a liar? Well, I know virtually every stone on the Temple Mount, but there's not one stone left standing upon the other of the buildings that stood on the platform.
Yeah.
The platform is like the foundation structure on which the buildings of the temples were built.
Right.
So Jesus is right when he says, not one stone shall be left upon the other of these buildings.
Yes.
But they were not talking about the Temple Mount walls. They're still standing up today, but that doesn't contradict what Jesus said. So when you say not one stone shall be left upon the other, well, one stone of what? Of the buildings of the temple. See how accurate we need to read the Bible when we try to link it up with archaeology.
So I have a very multidisciplinary team, and as the lead archaeologist, it's my job to coordinate all of those gifts and skills and bring everything together.
I did, yeah. You're like, no, don't get it. I know, I saw you about to do that. I was like, no. Okay, so, 3, get this one.
This is not mine.
This is
This
yours.
belongs- No, I don't want
Came
that.
out of the yellow ochre.
I don't think that's mine.
Anyway,
It's
everything
definitely
out of
yours.
everything
I
out of the
don't want
yellow
that.
ochre is clearly. Quit taking
It's
that
rimmed.
pocket from me.
Can't you see that rim?
Does it evert or does it invert?
It's rimmed.
How hard is this? No fighting, ladies and gentlemen. This is the war room.
I see dead people.
Archaeology is a cynical world. We live and work in a business of tough competitors. But I love you. You complete me. I...
Stop. You had me at archaeology.
I'll be back.